All right, so we just a little over a month into Raising Kanan actually returns, and seeing how, from what I was reading, I guess the synopsis of Unique's violent return, and is he's basically going to come after the Thomas family. But see, here's the thing: it's like I understand all of that completely. Like they basically killed his brother Ronnie, but see, I'm thinking it's going to probably be more of a he wanted to probably kill Ronnie because I think it wouldn't make any sense regardless of the fact that Ronnie basically tried to kill him, unless in Unique's mind is going to be like, no, this is how we play. He tries to kill me. I come back after a little while, and then I try to kill him. It's like, nah, man, nah, I don't know. Like I'm saying, it's just, I believe it's just going to be him upset that maybe he wasn't the one to have gotten like the kill over Ronnie or whatever. Or maybe he probably would have wanted to rekindle with Ronnie. I don't know how they're going to spin this story, but we know regardless of the fact that he will be coming after the Thomas family. And the big question is going to be, I guess, who's going to be the first to probably die at this point, because we do know in the future that the Thomas family was eventually essentially wiped out. So we wonder like who's going to go first, because in the old trailer, well, last year's trailer that we got, we see like Marvin is teaching Jukebox, I guess, how to hold a gun and maybe how to shoot a gun, right? And it makes me wonder, is Marvin going to go first? Because from what we've seen from the first season all the way to now, it's like Marvin had like a really good story development, character development, right? When it came down with his character of being like this, ruthless father of beating up his daughter because she was gay. And now it seems like it potentially might lead to maybe Marvin probably dying over Lulu, because Lulu just got recovered after, he was in well, because he was spiraling because he was drunk, and then because what's his face, Scrappy's death, and then he had to kill his mom, so he was already spiraling. So him going to rehab and him getting like treated, I don't really see Lulu potentially dying at all. I don't really see that. I think they're trying to spin it in the way, because as I said before, they always like take turns in a way where first it was Marvin, no, first it was Lulu, then it was Marvin, and it's like they taking turns of like who's gonna potentially go first. And we've seen like a pattern from what they did like in the previous seasons between like Lulu and Marvin. And I'm thinking, since last season, like Lulu was in recovery, right? I'm thinking maybe season 4, it could be maybe potentially, Marvin's death, because again, there are subtle hints and teases of like that could like potentially happen, because I'm thinking like in season 4, Marvin is already screwed anyway, because remember, Special Agent Tanner in the last season was already looking at Marvin as being the one who's in charge of the drugs. He's the kingpin. All eyes is on Marvin, and since Howard's death, all eyes might still be on Marvin. So I think potentially Marvin might be screwed in this season. In season 4, he might be screwed. So if it does lead up to like, Unique probably getting revenge and probably killing maybe Marvin or whatever, then it would probably set up, Jukebox's revenge, because we all talked about like her first kill and who it could potentially be, who she might end up killing, right? But then we always think about it because um remember in the original Power, where it was like, okay, Jukebox was like, ruthless, she was vicious, right? Even Ghost was a little bit of intimidated by her because of the things that they heard in the past about her. So it makes me wonder, does her vicious starts with Unique, right? Does it start with him? Because she's like the sleeper at this point, because we know she is gonna kill somebody, but it's just like who she's gonna kill, because we already seen Kanan already, get a body or two, right? We already seen that from him, but it's gonna be, the big question is gonna be what Jukebox is gonna do, who she's gonna, potentially take out first. And like I said, again, we don't know what's gonna like happen in like season 5, because we do know it was renewed for season 5, and we're gonna get that now. I guess the big question is if we get a season 6, and if season 6 is will be the finale, like what's gonna all happen, and maybe between like 5 and 6, and also 4 as well, because a lot of stuff is going to happen in season 4, which is going to really either catch us off guard, or it's just going to add more story, and then eventually it's just going to add up to like the Power origins, right? Which is going to be good. I mean, technically, when you really think about it, it's really like 2 Power origins, because it's like it's the Kanan stuff, and then it's like Power Origins itself, where it's going to explain, a little bit about like Ghost and Tommy or whatever, and the stuff that they was doing, and then, eventually them meeting like a Kanan and Breeze at some point in time. But uh I think that Unique's return is going to be very interesting because he's going to come back and be like, nah, man, they killed my brother Ronnie, and he's going to think Rock did it. I don't think he's going to maybe think Kanan did it, because it would be crazy like if he was there the whole time and was watching. I mean, that would be interesting too, like he was watching the whole thing take place. But I'm like, nah, I don't think so. Because then I think if he was watching, he probably would have came in there and tried to help him, try to help Ronnie. But nah, I think he probably would have just got there, last minute, and then just see his dead brother and next to Howard, because you know, Unique always knew that Howard and Rock had a thing, so it's just gonna be like, well, and then Ronnie's dead body next to him, and he gonna be like, well, nah, Rock did this shit. So he's gonna probably come after Rock, and that's gonna be crazy because everybody at the time thought Unique was dead. Everybody thought he was dead. But then the joke is that when Ronnie was like in the club, and it was like, oh, what? And I think even Jukebox asked the question. He was like, oh, where's your brother at? And he was, oh, he'll be back. He'll be back. So I'm like, nah, that's the joke, because it's like as if he was playing with him. He fake killed him, beat him with a pipe, and said, nah, he'll be back. He'd be back, which he did come back, but it's just I don't know. But I just love to see what they're gonna potentially do, and the storylines that they're actually gonna like set up between like everybody, because like I said, they've been teasing this for quite a while that it might be Marvin to go first, because like I said, he got a character development. Everybody's starting to like him now, and it only makes sense for him to go first, because Rock was like leaning on to Marvin more, because at the time she was saying that Lulu would have taken over, but Lulu basically had a crash out moment, and he was lost for a little while and had her turn to Marvin, which she didn't want to, but it's like, okay, now it's Marvin now. But then if Unique does try to come after the Thomas family and he takes out Marvin first, then it would only make sense though. It would only make sense as to why, Marvin is teaching maybe Jukebox early, because if anything does happen to Marvin, which something probably will, then it's only fair for her to like learn how to like use a gun and, fully prepare herself and train. And then eventually we're going to see like this violent side of Jukebox that's going to come out or whatever. And it's going to be interesting because her first kill and how violent she actually gets. Is she much more violent than Kanan? Right? We're gonna get to see all of that, and I think it's gonna be interesting to see, those types of sides to Jukebox. But again, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great to see the show come back, and then eventually we're gonna get that season 5, and then maybe 6 could be the finale. Who knows, right? Because they can still cram in just a little bit more story to like what's gonna happen to everybody, because we still don't know what's gonna happen to Rock at the end of it all. We really don't know if she's alive, if she's dead, or what's gonna happen, right? So that future's sort of like up in the air. But let me know in the comment section down below, like, what you guys think of Unique's return, his violent return, and who do you think is going to probably go first? Either it's going to be Lulu, or do you think it's going to be Marvin, or do you think it might not be nobody and they probably might just save the big deaths until like maybe season 5, maybe season 6, right? And they just throwing us off for a loop. But it's going to be good either way. But overall, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I catch you all in the next one.